rouse the boy from sleep, bringing him upstairs, subject him to your interrogations.
Yeah. What did you do to this guy before we came here?
Do you ask that out loud?
No, but I will say to him, I'm sorry. I'm not sure why what I've done to cause you to think that I would cause this boy any harm.
And he motions to Khalil. He says, your friend here has a very accusatory manner about him. He says, I'm not convinced that if Falpir is summoned and he has something to say, that your man won't drag him off, lock him in some dungeon, or...
I have no legal jurisdiction here as far as upholding the law.
Abraham says, no, I don't suppose you do. I also don't suppose your type cares much about legal jurisdiction. So I get the sense that if you thought Falpir had any part in this plot, you would open his veins right here on my floor. And he says this very angrily to you. You definitely rubbed him the wrong way.
Yeah, so?
So that's your response?
A little shocked.
Let's back up there, because he said that he's convinced that if Khalil knew Falpir was part of some plot, he would kill Falpir right here in the inn. And Khalil's response was, yeah, so?
My response to that would be, if he knowingly took part, then I would definitely report it to the authorities.
So you're acting on behalf of the authorities. You were hired as investigators by the Lady Mayor. Is that what you're saying?
Eldove looks at Khalil to see what he's going to say.
God damn it. You're better at this than I am.
You've driven me into a corner, sir. I'm planning on waiting until you leave and then talking to this man on my own.
He says, if you have some official writ that you're acting on the authority of the castle, surely you could produce it. Otherwise, I'm not inclined to turn over any of my employees for questioning. He looks back over at Eldove. He says, I see you're the good cop. Now, he looks back over at Eldove. He says, does that seem fair to you?
Eldove says, that seems reasonable for the moment, if you're okay with leaving things as they stand.
He says, I'm not unsympathetic to your investigation. If you are truthful in wanting to uproot this Assassin's Guild from Garrett and chase this blight from the town, I would help you in any way I can.
That's what we're trying to do.
He says, then I'll tell you this. The rumor is that the first place you would go in town, if you're looking to hire one of these Assassin's Guild members to do something nefarious, that you would start your search in my inn. He says, I assure you that's not the case. There's no truth to it. He says, if I thought for a second that any of the patrons or employees here were working with such a guild, they would be out on their ass.
Does he seem like he's telling the truth?
Roll an insight check. To quote Dr. McNinja, he says, their digestive tract would see a boot there and say, what is this boot here? I did not eat a boot. Yes, I reread the entire Dr. McNinja archives while I was sick.
Eldove has no idea.
Does Khalil want to try the insight as well?
Yes, he does.
Roll it!
14.
Khalil, you get the sense that Abraham is much, much angrier than he's letting on. Like, he's composing himself very well right now. Mm-hmm. But the anger was not... Part of it was caused by your accusations. The other part, he seems sincere when he says that rumors of this Assassin's Guild in town are bad for his business, and that he would like to see them routed. And he does seem sincere that if he had any information that any assassins were operating out of the inn, either his employees or any patrons here, that he would be the first to bring violence to them.
Perhaps it's not the patrons themselves that are working for the or not part of the Assassin's Guild, but rather people in their employ. Parties of parties.
Abraham shrugs and says, if you have any evidence to support that theory, I would like to see it. If you can give me a name, someone to look into, I have avenues of investigation that I could look into in town. Things that circumvent what the city guards could see.
I have nothing. I don't think we have anything yet, but if I do...
I ask him to look into Basmar. I tell him I have reason to believe that he's not just a smuggler, as he proclaims.
And he nods. He says, I know all about Basmar and the goods that he's smuggling into town. He says, and I've already have motions moving against him. So I'd rather not see his kind here.
Neither would I.
I tell him I'm not so concerned about the smuggling so much as anything else he might be doing in town. Do you think that the smuggling could be a cover for other more nefarious acts?
You're suggesting he's a member of the guild.
I heard word that he doesn't even have a ship.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't get down to the docks very often. But I would imagine the goods he's smuggling in, it would be better for him to bring them in secret. If he did own his own trade ship, these goods being discovered on a ship that bears his name would be bad for him. Whether or not he's a captain, I couldn't tell you, but more than that, I don't know about his operations.
But if he uses surreptition as you say he does, then why is he screaming it out downstairs?
Because he can. Because he's a smug bastard and he can get away with it. This is the goods he's bringing in.
Then why is he hiding his ship?
He said, well, that's just the thing. I'm not convinced he even owns a ship. I don't know how he brings these goods in. I don't know whose ship he uses. So you think this information along those lines would be helpful in your investigation? Then I could have some men look into it.
Anything you find out about him would be useful. Although, if you'll do me a favor, please don't have the serving boy who lost the button look into it. Don't tell him anything about this at all.
Yeah.
He nods. He says, fair enough. He says, I'll see what I can find out about the good captain. How he operates, what he's bringing in, and who in the castle's protecting him. He says, there's been 2 altercations this week that I know of, and those have not been the only ones with him. But he's untouchable by the city guard.
Very well. Thank you for your time.
What else is happening tonight? Do you guys have anything else for Abraham?
No. I can't think of anything notable. Do you?
I'm back in my room by now.
Yeah, you've been in your room all night. I thought you went to sleep.
Yep.
Do I really want to start shit with the captain?
I thought you already started shit with the captain.
No, like, time to get thrown in jail kind of stuff.
Oh boy.
Tarin,
Yes.
did you go back to the ship and go to sleep?
Yeah, and everyone else do tonight.
You have a disturbing dream. When you return to the ship, you're brought up to speed by Swent on the translation that's underway. And you're looking over the words that Ka is copying out of Gendrid's journals, or his books. And they still don't mean a lot to you, but that night you have a disturbing dream. And it starts the same way as your previous dreams, with the ship and all of the Flumph circling around, and you pass through this void, but this time waiting for you is a huge metal door, this huge circular, like, vault door. And the ship stops when the Fist of Adric crashes into it. And something of great force is pounding on the other side of this door, rattling the chains and bars that crisscross it. And you look around and you see there are 12 keyholes arranged around the outside circle of the door, as though the numbers on a clock. 8 of these have keys in them that have been turned. And of those 8, you look more closely, and 3 of them are glowing with this unnatural starlight, not unlike your Eldritch Blast that you throw out. And you look, and the 3 that are glowing have something dangling off the head of the key. You look up at the one, and it looks like a fist clenched. Kind of like a keychain dangling off of it. Reminiscent of Adric's fist.
Okay.
Look under the second key, the one that's glowing. And this one, the keychain, for lack of a better word, looks like a rope tied up into a noose that's swaying back and forth. And then the third one you look at looks like a large, notched stone axe, the kind that you saw wielded by Mount John in the Keyskin Arena. So those 3 keys have these things dangling off of them that are glowing. And then there are 5 more keys that are set into place and haven't been turned. And there are 4 locks, you see, that are still empty. And then you wake up with the cold sweat, shortness of breath, etc.
Am I forgetting someone who died?
No?
This is all fine.
Who was the axe?
Warwinax.
Oh, yes.
He's got an axe in his name.
Yeah, Warwinax was the one who was beheaded by Mount John. Excellent recall.
No, I thought he was punched to
No,
death.
Edric killed him.
That's right. Okay, so that's how they died. Okay.
Right.
Because I thought the fist was for Adric. Okay, now that does make sense.
No, it was.
Oh god,
it's
we can't. Maybe I have to revise my do not resuscitate with Orphan.
No, it was Adric's fist because Adric bludgeoned Warwinax.
Now
to
that
death.
makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense now.
So we know how to.
Oh,
We know
okay.
how to stop. What's his butt? We just
Don't
have to not die.
So you wake
Don't
up in a
die.
cold sweat. Roll a Wisdom 10 real quick.
If you pass it, you realize you don't give a shit about Warwinax's death.
17. So I pass.
Paired with the insights you had last week about the number 12 and the amount of prisoners that Gendred had taken, you saw 8 keys in your dream, but there were 9 prisoners in the room when you were first woke up. There were 9
Brad
prisoners.
was from this world, though.
Yes.
That might be the discrepancy.
Who else
I
is doing
would assume
anything
they
tonight?
came to this world maybe to get Fred. I don't know yet.
Yeah, all the other 8 people were from different worlds. Only Fred wasn't. And there was nothing differentiating any of the other keys. They were all had been set into their lock and turned.
Okay.
Is anybody else doing anything tonight?
Nope.
Debating.
No, his name's no.
Eric, are we gonna have fun times?
Well, he's drunk at this point for the first time in a very long time.
Once
I'm
we
trying to-
concluded our business, Khalil would return to the ship as well.
Okay.
I'm trying to determine. Nah, I'll let the captain go.
Does Eric need to get the sending stones out and get in touch with his AA sponsor?
He certainly rattles off
Oh,
a few
bad
curse
news. Fred
words
is his
to the
AA
captain
sponsor.
as he makes his way upstairs. The bar wench assisting where she can.
As far as you know, yeah, she's spitting his drink.
Yes. Alright. And I drunkenly go back upstairs and collapse on the bed.
Small victories, or what did Stephen Colbert call them? Tiny triumphs.
Okay.
Tiny triumphs, yeah.
So, the next morning, Wednesday morning, tonight, you all have a date up at the castle. They will be serving your octopus that you killed.
Yum yum.
Who else had things they were doing on Wednesday?
Well, we're meeting with that thing.
We'll start with Tarin on the ship. Tarin and Khalil. What are your morning actions?
Tarin is going to go ahead and send Ascending to Orphan and send Ascending to, Zook isn't in here. Technically, Zook, I guess, would also be included. And just say that he has to talk to them for a bit, and he'll be in the inn for lunch.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, Tarin doesn't have anything specifically he wants to do, so
Okay.
he'll just stay on the ship.
Now, this evening, you guys he arranged a date with Holga that we were going to dress Eldove up to look like Wilbur.
The Umber Hulk.
The Umber Hulk.
Right.
Wilbur the Umber Hulk.
And
I'm still not convinced this is the better plan.
what is the plan with Falpier? I mean, it's easy enough to find Falpier. He works here at the inn. He's one of the serving boys. You see him cleaning up, bussing tables, fetching drinks and meals and things for patrons. So nobody has any designs on Filper? We're just going to leave him alone?
Not really. I don't think so. Because Khalil actually had a question for actually this might get into a pretty big rough conversation with Tarin.
Okay. Well, what's the question?
Well, the question is, Khalil in the morning. Khalil would come up to the captain's quarters, knock on the door,
And that's how you wake up, Tarin. Khalil is rapping on your door.
Okay. Tarin will put his clothes on, step outside on the deck.
Captain, I'd like to speak with you in private.
Alright, he'll take you down probably to, like, the treasury.
Okay.
No sense.
And you go down to the treasury where
Kind of strange. I figure, just be able to step back into his quarters. That would just be the thing, but whatevs.
Well, Phil is still sleeping in there.
Oh, well, okay.
I mean, if you're okay with that.
No. Captain, I need to know something. For my own peace of mind, mostly.
Yeah, whatever. What's up?
You had no prior dealings with that giant near Udok's village, did you?
You mean the leader of those giants?
Yes.
No, haven't heard word from him since the,
Before then.
Since
Even
he sent
before.
the sending to me as we were leaving the Udok's village. No, I didn't
What
even know he
what
existed.
message was that?
He asked, I think I told you, he asked how did I find the Udok's hospitality.
You've had no prior business dealings or any kind of dealings with him before, have you?
I didn't know he existed. I've been tempted to send him a magical message, but I don't know.
Can I insight roll that?
Yeah. Are you trying to,
I'm trying to see I'm trying to see if he's actually telling the truth. Like, Adam knows that he's telling the truth, but Khalil doesn't.
So I have to mock roll a bluff, even though I'm telling the truth.
No, you don't have to roll. If you're not trying to bluff, don't roll anything.
Okay.
Khalil rolls a 9.
Okay. Well, it's up to you whether or not Khalil believes him. Then. I mean, Khalil can't really tell either way whether the captain's lying. It's just the story has not changed since you left Romnaeus.
All right. That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Do you have any specific information? Because, like I said, I've been kind of tempted to send him a magical message and see what I can learn about the Udoks from him. Still feel like there's some unfinished business there with the way they were treating their slaves, or the fact that they had slaves.
No, thank you. And then I'll just step out and start wandering about town.
Okay. So, morning actions, Tarin.
Just spending the morning on the ship.
Okay. And Khalil is just wandering around town?
Yeah.
Arik and Eldove. And Orphan.
I'm gonna go down to the Church of Osprey.
Okay. That is number 3 down here. Ding.
Oh, okay. Why did I think it was down to 50? No idea.
And what about Eldove and Arik? Arik, you have a friggin' legendary hangover.
I bet I do. He's not doing much of anything. Though I really want to stalk the captain. Eric's not really built for stalking, so I think he's just going to chill in the inn for a little while, nursing that hangover.
And the old wounded
Eldove
barkeep
harasses,
is there this morning.
Sorry, what was that?
The old wounded barkeep is there this morning. Gilmy. I'm sorry, Glammy, not Gilmy. The one with the paralyzed arm.
Yep.
All right.
Who?
McDohl.
Now, this was a barkeeper that you all met the first night you got here in Garreton.
Oh, okay.
He's an old, dour-looking man. He has his right arm is partially paralyzed, long, stringy black hair, and a full beard. Et cetera,
Oh, I
et
don't
cetera.
remember. That was 2 weeks ago, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's
just-
difficult to remember all these names.
Good to know, though.
Yeah, but it's too early for the inn to really come alive yet. So,
Sure.
Eldove, what's the idea here?
Eldove's going to spend the morning harassing our priest, who has a hangover. Eldove
Okay.
finds this very entertaining.
Now, wait, hold on. I have to check the book. Okay, it does say that the hangover is very entertaining, so we're good.
Hang on. I saw that movie, and by God, it was fucking terrible. It was another Seth Rogen joint.
What?
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 The Hangover.
I get it. but,
Oh,
eh.
okay.
Oh.
I was making a stupid joke, damn it.
McDohl,
Yeah.
you're fired.
You're fired. You're fired for not getting my stupid jokes.
I got it. That doesn't mean I'm gonna laugh.
Orphan.
Mhm.
You were met at the gates of the church as you approach by a couple of the younger acolytes, and before you were allowed entrance, they ask, "Good morning, sister. What business brings you to the Church of Osprem?" And they're asking you this, and they're very clearly barring your way into the church yard.
Right. I'll say I came to see if the high priest was preaching today.
Oh,
I thought I'd taken one of his sermons if he was.
They say, "Oh, well, the high priest is not giving a sermon this week. We will be having a guest speaker, a traveler from the oceans wide. His name is Arik.
Oh boy.
He will be giving this week's sermon." And they politely inform you that the sermon will be at such and such a time on Friday afternoon.
I say, oh, I see. That's a bit of a shame. I know Arik well, and his views. I had hoped to get a different perspective on Osprey, but if that's not to be the case, then so it is.
And when they see that you have no more business there, they bid you a good day, and
All right,
I mean-
I'll
they are very cagey about allowing a tiefling into the churchyard.
yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll leave because all I wanted to do there was see if I could get a sense of the high priest. But if he's not speaking today and if he's not taking visitors,
Yeah, it would be very difficult for you to do this openly. You would have to try. You'd have to sneak in somehow.
right? Yeah, I'll just leave then. That's my morning action. Was
Okay.
I went to the church.
And what about this afternoon?
I'm supposed to meet with somebody. What was I doing today?
I don't think I remember who you were supposed to be meeting with.
Octopus Fishing Part 2.
Oh, Tarin wanted me to the inn, so I'll go back and do that.
Okay, yeah, Tarin.
Are we in the afternoon actions
Yep,
now?
we're on in the afternoon.
Okay.
Khalil will probably be finding his way back over there then. At that point.
Okay, so who all is Tarin wanting to speak with?
Well, he specifically sent the sendings to, and I took a short rest after that. Specifically sent the sendings to Zook and Orphan.
Okay, well, Zook's not here, so are you just talking to Orphan, or do you want to talk with the other PCs as
The
well?
others are more than free to join us. It's just he's the only one. Orphan is the only one who I want to specifically talk to. I should probably actually. Let me say, go ahead and I'll say I sent a sending to Fred too.
Okay. What did you say to Fred? Like, what was the sending? What was the message?
important realization about interdimensional peril. Please meet it in for lunch.
And he shows up at lunchtime. he shows up at lunchtime, and he looks like nervous. Like, whoa, shit just got heavy. And the afternoon, a light afternoon meal is served to you all.
So if you like drawn up an agenda, like meeting bullet points, or we got a PowerPoint presentation too.
Are we all here for this? Or
If you
Yes.
want, I can use
Okay.
cast creation. I can get you an onion.
Everybody came back to the end, and Fred is the last one to arrive. And like I said, when he's got this look on his face, like whoa, like
So Tarin is going to start by describing his dream from last night. In vivid, lurid detail. He goes into great, like, obviously the kind of madness in the back of his eyes that he gets sometimes when he goes on. He's pretty much pouring that out full stop right now.
Okay. And the whole time
And
you're
then-
talking, Fred is just kind of stroking his goatee, listening very intently.
And then he gets to the end and he's like, alright, so Orwinax was... So there were 8 of us that had been captured between the many worlds.
Fred corrects you, says there were 9, clearly.
Am I miscounting, or...?
Well, the Fred's saying there were 9 of us. There was...
It was Arik, Orphan, Tarin, Zook.
Mm-hmm.
Orwinax, Philia,
Traeger, Swent, and Fred.
Swent, and Fred. Okay.
So yeah, you only saw 8 keys, but there were 9 prisoners in the room. Fred was the 9th.
Right. Yeah. But of them, 3 are now dead, and those 3 each had a symbolic key opened and a symbol of their death on the... So, the main point of this meeting is try not to die, because the universe might be in big trouble if you do.
I nod and say, I see. Then clearly I was mistaken when I advocated that we not resurrect Arik before.
Yeah, that might... I don't know how that one would work. I don't want to see some sort of key turned inside out in 4 dimensions or whatever. Don't know. Like, and we still haven't finished. This is sort of consistent with the things that Kale's been writing in the book, but they're still pretty cryptic and incomplete. So that was it. I mean, I realize it's not a very big story, a very big change in what you're probably doing from day to day. Just try not to die.
Tell you what, Captain, I won't die either.
I lift my head up out of my arms and say, too late, and I plop my head back down on the table.
Fred looks very serious, and that's kind of strange for Fred. And he says, Captain, I think I know what you need.
What's that, Fred?
He says, you need to speak to a dream interpreter, somebody who can translate the symbolism that you're seeing in your dreams that are haunting you.
I don't know that it's symbolism so much as... What's the word for... Yeah, we don't have a word for that in this world, because you guys only have one world.
Now hold up,
Sure.
I know a lot of languages.
Sure, alright, dream interpreter. Let's talk to someone. Do they do other world... Like, how many dimensions do they work in? Because I need one that works in at least 4.
And he tells you the people you need to speak to are the Flumphs.
I'm alright with this.
They have...
I told you we shouldn't have renamed the ship.
They have dream sages that can interpret the images in a man's dream. Unfortunately, they live in the Underdark.
That's far out into the mountains in the Triad of Rock, right?
Right. And he says, well, obviously we'd finish up our business here in Garen with this whole Assassin's Guild nonsense, but... He says, I've spoken to the Flumphs myself, at a point in my past where I was I'm not sure if you'll believe this, given the man I am today, but there was a time when I was directionless and without focus.
Hard to believe, Fred. Hard to believe.
Now wait, hold on a second here, Fred. I thought these Flumphs were friendly, and you're telling me they live in the Underdark.
So many friendly creatures live in the Underdark. So the name gives it a bad rap.
I mean, it is dark, though.
It's very dark.
I think they probably got that much right.
Probably under as well.
He says the dream speakers, the sages that I met, didn't live beneath the mountains. There was a monastery high up in the hills. Some strange yellow-skinned monks.
Okay.
High up in the mountain.
A monastery, huh?
And the Flumphs live in symbiosis with the monks there. And it was a long journey. Myself and several other adventurers traveled up into the mountains to have our dreams interpreted. And it was these messages that told me to cross the sea, to stow away on a boat, that it would bring me to my life's fortune. And it has. It brought me to you, Captain.
But wait a second here. You're telling me, first of all, that friendly creatures live in the Underdark, and second, that it's on top of a mountain. I'm starting to doubt this whole endeavor.
I will, at this point, recite the part of the dream where the ship is guided by flumphs and everything is all fine and good for the first half. So I'm like, okay, I can see this working.
But Eldove is not convinced.
Khalil is
Listen,
really not convinced
I have
either.
yet to find something friendly out of the Underdark.
You haven't. You know that there are vast dwarf kingdoms in the Underdark. Just as a quick example. Like, there are hill dwarves, but there are also mountain dwarves. And there are entire dwarf kingdoms that don't see sunlight. That do a fair bit of trade with Dunfoss. Mostly beers and stone goods and whatnot.
Are there,
you don't want to go into the deepest areas where there are aboleths and mind flayers and drow and whatnot, but the Underdark is a vast ecosystem. There's good and evil there. That's still not saying that Eldove would want to vacation there.
Well, I mean, that depends. How good is that beer?
Well, I don't know. It's dwarven beer, and you're an elf, so you tell me.
I'm just saying, if there's one race that knows their beer.
But they probably have to grow it from, like, mushrooms or something.
Hey, whatever works.
So, Fred offers to, while you guys are dealing with your investigation in town, he offers to get plans in motion, maybe buy passage along with a caravan that's headed off in that direction, if you're looking to travel up into the mountains.
Do we leave from here, or should we sail to Dunfoss first?
He says we'd be closer from here. It'd be better to travel inland from here, I would think. I don't know anywhere safer to leave the honor. I think it would be a waste to sail up to Dunfoss first.
All right.
The journey overland is going to be considerable either way, and treacherous. We'll have to travel through many mountains. He says, I hear the DM just got his hands on a player's option filled with information about deep gnomes and Aarakocra and Goliaths. And that a mountain adventure is in the works, whether you like it or not.
Would this ship run any better if it was pulled by a group of pseudo-real horse-like creatures?
Oh my God. And with that, I'm going to run to the fridge and refresh my drink real quick.
Alright.
I'm gonna get some water as well. I'll be back.
I'll be right back.
Everybody else think about any other afternoon actions you have, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright.
Back me up here, guys, though. Underdark, that's a shitty place.
It doesn't sound good.
What is Tarin's opinions on quasi-real horse-like objects?
He thinks there should be more of them in his life. It's a shame that the spell kind of sucks in this edition, though. It's so much better in 4e and 3e. Because eventually, in both of those, you make a bunch of horses, and B, they can fly eventually. My player's just flying on Phantom Steeds last session.
Here's the thing, though. I don't really care how good a spell is, as long as it contains in the description the terms "semi-real horse-like creature."
That is the important part. Let's not lose track of that.
I hate Nodal so much.
I just saw Destil's tweeting of the sending.
Oh yeah, does sending have to fit within 140 characters?
25 words. Alright, so other afternoon actions, what else was people going to do?
Khalil, I couldn't really think of anything for Khalil to do aside from maybe look for provisions of some sort.
Well, you have
Just
plenty of provisions on the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it you're looking for in town?
Well, I mean, basically, I was just looking for like a general sundry store.
There's definitely a general store in town.
Yeah.
Would you like to know all of its contents?
Yes. No. I would
Tarin
not.
is just going to wander the town for the rest of the afternoon until the Squid Fest.
Okay.
That would be kind of the same agenda.
Khalil, that's building number 13.
Okay.
Is Lydia's general store.
All right.
It is a 20-foot by 20-foot building with a slightly smaller frame house behind it. The one-room house has 2 barred windows and only 1 iron reinforced door. Etc., etc., etc.
13, huh? Oh, there it is up here.
Yeah.
This character knows nothing about the murder.
What else
Shush.
is going on in the afternoon?
Eldove is going to spend his time with Fred, picking
Okay.
his brain on impersonations and acting.
Fred asks if this is in reference to pretending to be Wilbur later tonight.
Eldove says yes.
Okay. Well, he's spent the last few days working at the theater, and he's gotten to know Wilbur pretty well. And, I mean, you hung out with Wilbur a little bit yesterday, you said. And Fred is happy to take you back to the theater. If you want to spend the afternoon with him and Wilbur and getting stories
Seems like
straight.
a good idea. Sure.
Okay. Then
Oh, sorry, tabletop suddenly just crashed.
back to number 4. Arik and Orphan are doing what?
Give me a second to restart tabletop simulator.
Arik, your hangover is cleared up by afternoon. You're fine now.
All right.
The morning was pretty miserable, though. Don't drink like that again.
Yeah. That's
The more you know.
do 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 do.
I feel like I'm in the middle of the storm-tossed seas.
The hell was that?
Gosh. Arik is going to chill by the port.
What is Arik hoping to do at the port? Just hang out? Does he have an agenda?
His agenda is maybe to identify ships coming in and out, maybe figuring out how the captain is smuggling a ship.
The only
captain,
actual
air
ship,
quotes.
the only actual ship here is Adric's Honor. Most of the other
That's what I thought.
boats at the dock, I mean, they're just little nameless fishing vessels that get taken out on the lake during the day and brought back at night. And they don't even have names. Once in a while, you're told trade ships do come up the river and will stop here, but you haven't seen one since you've arrived.
That was 4 days ago. 3 days ago.
Yeah, you've been in town for 4 days. Go ahead and roll an investigation check at disadvantage. You're looking for DC 15. And if you succeed, you may notice something about the good smuggler. See,
wow,
that'll
I made
pass.
that. Well, except for I
You gotta
got
roll-
disadvantage.
But you have to roll disadvantage.
Yeah, that was 20. Oh, ow. That's
Roll that nat 20, nat 20, nat 20, nat 20, nat 20.
oh, just missed.
Just missed it. Okay.
Yeah, you said got +0 to investigation.
So you hang out down at the docks throughout the day, trying to find out something about Captain Basmar. What is Eric's particular thoughts on bribing people? Being lawful good? No?
Nope, he's lawful good, he won't do it.
Okay, well then you should have made that roll at super disadvantage then. So.
Super disadvantage.
Ooh.
And you spend the day at the docks, but at the end of it, you're just frustrated. You haven't seen anything come or go. You haven't seen hide nor hair of Basmar or any of the sailors he was hanging out with. And it is a fruitless afternoon spent. Who did I miss?
Where the fuck does he go during the day?
You missed me, but I'm still having trouble coming up with an action, so I might not do anything.
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay with what...
We'll just say she spends the afternoon meditating in her room.
That's fine. Khalil, you walk into the general store,
Yeah.
and the proprietor is a battle-hardened looking woman named Lydia. And I believe she's actually armed. Let me
Is she
double
sworn
check.
to carry my burdens?
Carry your burdens? Probably not.
Okay.
I got the joke. Don't worry.
Good.
I didn't get the joke. No, she's not wearing armor that you can see. She's wearing a long-sleeve dress. But you can see under the skirt, which is cut off somewhere above her ankle, she's wearing heavy boots. And in the boot, and each side, she has a knife slid down in there.
Cool.
Is that part of the module?
That's part of the module.
Awesome.
Is it a +1 knife?
Probably. Literally everybody in this town, if I'm going by the module, which I'm not, I changed this. Like, every NPC in this town is loaded down with magical shit. Everybody's got magic weapons. Like, let me just read you what Lydia is supposed to have. She doesn't actually have this stuff. Don't try to kill her and loot her corpse. She's supposed to have bracers of defense AC 4, boots of striding and springing, a broadsword +2.
What?
The hell?
And a magical device that detects good and evil.
Well, remember, in first edition, half your EXP came from the gold value of anything you found,
Yeah,
so...
right. So killing her and looting her corpse in first edition might have been profitable.
I was about to say, are we supposed to just murder and kill everything in town? Was that the point of the module originally?
But
Most of the stuff is actually here so you can't do that because she's actually a really dangerous character to whatever level you're supposed to be at with
she
this
has
module.
all this magical shit, but then it says in a loose floorboard in her house, like her actual money that she has 204 gold. So
Sure.
That's a lot of gold.
not enough gold to buy all that magical shit.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, way more than, like, a normal person should have.
In our campaign, NPCs do not have 8 magic items apiece. She has none of that stuff. But you do see the heavy boots, and she does have a dagger in each boot. So she's wearing a dress, but she's wearing it kind of uncomfortably. Like, she would be more at home wearing chainmail.
Of course she would.
And she greets you coolly as you enter the door. So she's not the friendliest woman in the world. But the place is relatively well stocked.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you're looking for?
Oh, I was just mainly looking for perhaps another perspective as to this murder, possibly.
Okay. Well, she doesn't know anything about the murder.
Okay.
But she has 4 suits of leather armor, 4 shields, 2 sets of studded leather, 1 set of chain, 8 daggers for hand-to-hand combat, 3 throwing daggers, 1 throwing hand axe, 30 darts, a hammer, 4 broadswords, 1 short sword, 16 pairs of boots, 7 cloaks, 14 tunics, 60 flasks of oil, a thieves' kit, 10 tinder boxes, 80 standard rations, a hooded lantern, 150 candles, and 200 spikes.
Wait a second, hold up.
Thieves' kit?
Why does a general store have a thieves' kit?
Yeah,
I
that's exactly
couldn't-
what I was thinking.
It's first edition. What do you want from me?
A candle. I'm just kidding.
She has 150 candles. No, it's a well-stocked store. But that's the like I have the entire store's inventory here, but
Did you steal all that inventory? Like, what?
I think that's the indication with the thieves' kit is that she clearly stole this inventory.
All right.
so how do you make your inquiry about the murder? Like, what do you say?
I'm just simply going to ask if you had heard anything about the murder.
Of course I have. It's talk of the town. The king was assassinated. That kind of thing doesn't slip on notice.
Oh yeah. So you hadn't no travelers come through, bringing any new information, perhaps?
She shrugs. She says, travelers come through every day. Mostly looking for wares. So I'm making a point to chit-chat with them, though.
Okay, well...
I find I do better
I
business if I stay out of other people's business.
Understandable. I apologize for taking up your time, and have a nice afternoon.
And when she sees that you don't intend to buy anything, she kind of gives you a dirty look.
Oh?
Was that the sound of
What?
pork snagglins?
That was the fun
Oh,
part.
I was putting myself off mute. Yes, that was snacklins.
Dude, the pork snagglins.
The sound of pork
Nice.
snagglins. No, as far as her actual stock, she has the equivalent of the stuff you can get in the PHB at a slight markup.
That's fine.
Yo, get that thieves kit.
Does the Khalil imply that she killed the king?
No!
Well,
there might be a thing or two I'd like to buy, and I'd probably be carrying this conversation on with her as I'm browsing.
Okay. I mean, she won't have any potions of healing. She won't have an arcane focus, but most of the adventuring gear on page 150, she has access to all that kind of stuff in her shop, and she'll sell it to you at 25% markup, unless you want to haggle her down, which I don't think you have the charisma to do anyway. So
Yeah.
So what is it you're looking to buy? I like how they specify in this book that the pole is 10 feet.
From what he was saying, or from Tarin saying, it sounds like the group is getting ready to get dragged through the mountains. So, spikes, pitons, that kind of thing.
Okay, you can buy what's called a climber's kit,
Okay.
which will have some of that stuff in it. Do you have in like a length of rope or something if you don't already have it? So yeah, go ahead and make the purchases out of the PHB. She charges 25% more than what's in the book.
Okay.
And you could buy that climber's kit and whatnot.
All
They
right.
also sell grappling hooks. You've got ropes in there.
Wait,
Hey,
hold on. She's selling grappling hooks or climbing kit in a thieves kit.
She doesn't actually have a thieves kit. That's what the module says. But we're not going by the
I'm just
module.
putting together a story here from these items.
The
She's
story
Tom
is
Cruise from Mission Impossible.
the people that wrote these modules back in the day were insane. That's
All right. All right. Then that's gonna pretty much be my action this afternoon.
okay. And so into the evening.
No reason to
then.
haggle her down.
Hey,
So
Rickard,
Yeah.
25%.
I wanted to revise my afternoon action. I'm gonna go, I guess, probably after Khalil leaves, but I'm gonna go to the same store to replace some of the stuff that I lost.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna get a backpack and some things.
Yeah. Same deal then. I mean, the price is in the
Yeah.
book plus 25%.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You're a tiefling though.
Yeah, is she gonna give me extra markup?
Yeah, she would.
It's a good thing I'm not buying much.
Unless you're trying to avoid it. Unless you're trying to avoid being taken advantage of. Because, I mean, it's very clear that she would be marking it up to you. If you're not, then mark it up 50%. But if you're going to try to talk your way out of the markup, then it would be a charisma check against her.
Yeah, I'll try that. My
Okay.
charisma's not great, but like just as a matter of principle, I don't want to like be taken advantage of just because I'm Tiefling.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check then.
All right.
And you only have to beat 4. She rolled badly.
All right. Yeah, that's a 13.
Then you manage to convince her that just because, you're a tiefling, you don't... Like, she looks a little bit embarrassed that you caught her out. And she eventually relents and gives them to you for the 25% markup.
Okay.
She tried to damage your pocketbook. Do you use Infernal Rebuke on her?
Coins just come flying out of her as I speak this ancient and dreadful word.
So 2 things are happening in the evening. The first thing that's happening is that Holga, Wilbur the stagehand's girlfriend, who he gave the golden lute string, or harp string to, will be waiting in these woods here at the base of the hill. We'll be waiting for Wilbur for date night. The other thing that's happening this evening is you have all been invited up to the castle keep, where they will be serving this legendary giant octopus. And the Lady Mayor and the important members of the castle keep will be at this dinner, and you all, of course, have been invited, as it was your quarry.
Oh, the sailor's still going to enjoy some seafood, isn't it?
These two things, you can't do them both at once. These are taking place at the same time.
Okay, so you need to go to the guy and polymorph someone to look like me, and then polymorph me to look like...
So Linus is going to be polymorphing Eldove to look like Wilbur, getting him dressed up. Now he could polymorph you, but you'd probably be better off just letting him use his disguises on you. Because the polymorph spell only lasts an hour anyway.
I'll trust his professional opinion.
And he sits you down and says, "Darling, when I'm done with you, you will look magnificent."
Well, I already look magnificent.
And
I just need to look like Wilbur.
You look less magnificent when he's done with you, and you look more Wilbur-ish. But you're very impressed with how he managed to, tone down the point of your ears, get them, pinned back along the side of your head. He uses some minor magics to change the length of your hair, so he doesn't have to cut your gorgeous flowing locks, etc.
So that means there's still an Umber Hulk on the table, potentially, right? For the other group.
Tarin, can you keep a mind link with me while I'm doing this? Because I don't want to be left in the fucking woods to die.
No. That's a spell that for some reason even my build doesn't get.
If only you had kept one of the 38 sending stones you've come across during this campaign. I'm sure you have been, but you've been keeping base with Humbirth, yes?
Well, I'd need Humbirth sending stone. Just do the minor illusion lion roar thing if you get in trouble. I'll keep an ear out for it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to speak to you about that as well. I think we can come up with something a little bit sneakier than a lion roar.
Such as...
I don't know, man.
You would think that, and I would think it too, but apparently it's wrong.
What kind of sound does a Flumph make?
A bird lion roar?
That is the sound a Flumph make. The Flumph is named for the noise it makes when it farts along in the air. It makes little flumph sounds as it moves around. So, what is the idea with this Umber Hulk thing? Bring me up to speed on that. What's the thought?
It's a joke.
Oh, it's a joke. Okay,
yeah.
Never mind it.
No, it's just if you're gonna polymorph into something, why wouldn't you polymorph into an Umber Hulk?
So
So you can
Eldove
burrow.
is going to date night with Holga. Yes.
Yes.
Do you want me to be with you invisible instead of going to this, or have someone else with you invisible?
Well, I think they might question if none of us show up, so you
No,
better
I'm definitely going. I'm just saying, do you want to have an invisible ally with you?
Can you do that? I thought we
decided. I thought you could do it.
Oh no, I'm gonna be concentrating on
Eagle Splendor.
Eagle Splendor.
No, I can't do it.
What does Eagle Splendor do?
I have advantage on charisma checks.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Do you bring up the idea of having an invisible ally in Linus's presence?
I don't see why not. We're discussing our plans.
And which of you offers to be this ally?
To shine.
Oh yeah, I think this is Fred's opportunity.
Okay, so does Fred have invisibility? He might. Let me check. No, he doesn't, because I've been very careful to not give him anything useful.
Can we reach into the pocket dimension where Ian is currently staying? And...
No, Ian got kidnapped by sky pirates.
Oh, god damn it, that sounds way
better adventures than us.
Yeah! I would love to get kidnapped by sky pirates.
British sky pirates too, I bet.
But Linus could cast invisibility on Fred.
Oh shit! Why doesn't Linus come with us? He's way better than Fred.
Well, he would have to. He can make him and Fred invisible and come along with you.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome. Yeah, let's do this.
All right.